Shalom to you all. We are continuing the series of how does Judaism view intimacy in a marriage? How does Judaism see the physical connection between husband and wife? Is it something that we try to refrain from it, and the only reason a husband and wife will connect to each other is because someone needs to make sure the world will continue and there will be a future generation? Or maybe does Judaism see in this physical connection something holy? As I mentioned in the first class, this series is a short series based on this book, In the Beginning. You can find it on Amazon. The main part of the book is learning lessons from the book of Bereshit, from Genesis, learning practical ideas we can enrich our marriage, practical ideas that every couple can use. And part of the book also discusses about this topic, about the marital relations between husband and wife. In the first class, we saw that Torah uses three terms to talk about this physical connection between man and woman. The first term is called yada, yedi'ah, that we translate as knowledge, but since it's not a great translation and there's no good translation for the word yada, we will use mainly the word yada here, and we will explain it further as we go on. But the common translation is to know, new, knowledge. That's yada. The second term the Torah uses is bi'ah, to come upon. And that term is usually used when the man and woman, husband and wife, are having relations in order to have kids for the future generation. There's something positive in this relation, but there's nothing more than just the next generation. It doesn't teach us about the act itself. Is that something holy or something which is common to the animals and low? And the third term we find is a term of shchiva, to lie with, lay with. And this term is used when there's something negative. It could be something small negative. It's not the best way of a man and woman to be with each other, or it could be connected with adultery or other sins that could be between man and woman, usually not between husband and wife. So we have three terms, and we saw and we learned from that the physical connection, or the way Judaism sees physical connection, is complex. There's no one straight answer. The answer is a complex. It depends on the level, depends on the how. And in this class and the next class, we will try to understand exactly how do we make this physical connection to be something holy, that the Torah will say this is something which is good between man and woman. And today we will focus on the term yada. The first time in the Torah, the first time in the Bible when there's a connection between man and woman, physical connection, is Adam and his wife, Adam and Eve. And it says, Adam yada et Chava ishto, and Adam yada, knew Eve, his wife. We will discuss it to try to understand why does the Torah use the term yada? What does yada here mean? If we look in the book of Genesis, in Bereshit, we find the word yada or da'at, the same root, also in other places. Maybe one of the common or known places is the tree of knowledge. The tree of knowledge is never called just by itself the tree of knowledge. It will always be called the tree of knowledge of tov v'ra, of good and evil. What does it mean, the tree of knowledge of good and evil? And we have a few explanations here which start already to light or to give us an understanding of the term yada, and based on that also, how does Judaism see this yadi'ah between husband and wife? One of the earliest commentaries on the Torah, Unkelus, understands it as differentiating. the tree that enables you to differentiate between good and evil. Differentiating or understanding what is good and what is bad, that's maybe the most important part of knowledge. I can sit at home, open my cell phone, and I'll get as much knowledge as I want. How do I separate, sift? How do I know what's good and bad? For that, I need what we call the ability to sift, to differentiate, to define. You can say in marriage also, there's billions of men, billions of women, but each couple is unique. They have only themselves for each other. They know how to differentiate and separate between their own connection, the unique connection, and what happens around them. So that's something we can already learn. What would be a positive, a holy connection, a physical connection between man and woman, if they know how to separate themselves from the rest of the world, and we will discuss it more in the next class. Another level of yedi'ah, of knowledge that we find in the tree of knowledge is knowing, understanding, and connecting, the will. When I know how to differentiate, I know how to sift, I have now a desire to understand it more, to get closer to what I know and I feel is good. So we have here also an emotional connection. It starts from a cognitive connection, understanding, and also a will to be part of something which is good, because I want to be part of something good. If I don't know how to sift them, so I'm scared of the bad aspects, so I'll take a step back. But if I know how to separate and to define exactly what's good, I will say, okay, I want to be part. So another level of yedi'ah is also an aspect of connecting. To understand more the term of da'at, we will light a bit this topic from the ideas from the Kabbalah and from the Hasidic world. The Kabbalah has 10 sfirot, or it describes 10 sfirot. The word sfirot is hard also to translate. Some translate it as counting, some translate it as different ways Hashem, God, appears in the world. And one of the sfirot of this counting is called da'at. Da'at is represented by the letter Vav in God's name, in Hashem's name. And the letter Vav is a letter of connecting between two parts. The letter Vav is used many times in Hebrew to show the connection between things. The letter Vav is a letter of connecting. When we get to Adam and Eve, we'll see also there some kind of connection. This sphira of da'at, the sift or the aspect of da'at, as the way the rabbis of Kabbalah explain it, can hold a few things in it, a few aspects of it. In our world, there's no way that two things can really become one. In the end, we all separated, we all have our own personality, our own body. Separation is part of this world. If everyone will be connected to each other, we'll have chaos, no identity, nothing. In our world, the most we can connect is defined by this measurement or counting of da'at. Da'at tries to balance between things, to balance between the wanting to give and to be part and taking a step back, between the knowledge, more of the cognitive part, more of the thinking, and also this world of emotion, and maybe this world of body, between a spiritual level and a physical level. So that is the attribute of trying to balance out and find the right place for each thing each dimension, in order that they become one. When things are balanced, Now they can connect to each other. There's no tension between them. So when they're balanced, you can try and become one. So the idea of da'at, according to the rabbis of the Kabbalah, first it's reflected by the letter Vav, which shows of connection, but it tries to connect between everything, not just between two things. It really tries to connect between everything, between God and us, between the right and left, between giving and taking. It's between emotion and the mind. It really tries to connect all of them, and as much as we can to try and have something which is united in this world. In a Jewish prayer, we say every day, Shema Yisrael, Hashem Elokeinu, Hashem Echad. Listen, Israel, Hashem is your God, Hashem is one. In heaven, we can have one. In our world, we can strive towards one. We can try to reach one, but we will never have one. We will always have different people, but we can try and balance. That's called da'at. The movement towards being one, which includes all of the aspects, not just one aspect. I have in common with my friend, both of us like to ride the bike. The fact that both of us like to ride the bike, or both of us like to read certain books, doesn't make us to one. It just makes us united in a very narrow aspect of our life. That tries to be much more than that, to connect between all of the aspects of life, and that's the idea of connection, balance and connection between all of the aspects of life. When you think of it, that gives place to everything, because if you're connected and each one is balanced, there's life for the emotions, for the physical, each one has its own place, each one gets its strength and living. Understanding what the term da'at, it's not knowledge, it's not just knowledge as we translate it. Da'at is a multi-dimension connection. So that is a multi-dimension connection. That's a term of da'at. Understanding that the term of da'at is not just a connection in one aspect. It's really much larger than that. We can go back to Adam and Eve and to the term da'at in the Torah. God creates man, in the beginning creates man as one, and then God says, it's not good for man to be alone, and separates man and woman. When Adam wakes up from his sleep, he sees Eve, he sees Chava, he says, Zot apam, this time it's bone from my bone and flesh from my flesh, and the Torah concludes, Al ken, therefore, ya'azov ish et aviv et imo. A person leaves his parents, v'davak b'ishto, and cling to his wife, v'hayu lebasar echad, and there will be one flesh. In Judaism, we strive towards being united, creating this unity in the world. Unity, not making everyone the same, unity between a balance, connecting different things, that each thing has its place, and then they become united. One of the basic commandments and mitzvot in the Torah is ve'ahavta le'acha kamocha. You should love others like yourself. It creates unity in the nation. As we mentioned, we say twice a day, 3 times a day actually, Shema Yisrael, Hashem Elokeinu, Hashem Echad. God is one, and therefore all of us, we have energy towards united in the world. The main place where we see united is in a couple. Two separate people that share some connection in the soul and they strive to be one. Now, if it's just one in a logical aspect, in a spiritual aspect, so that's not da'at. Da'at is connecting in a multi-dimension. Body, emotions, and knowledge, and the mind. That is da'at. The high level of a man and a woman being together is when they're really in the energy, in the movement of becoming one. V'davak b'ishto, he will cling to his wife. V'hayu lebasar echad, they will become one flesh. So if we asked, how does Judaism view intimacy, marital relations between husband and wife, we can see from here that there's something quite positive in it. It's part of the movement of becoming one, part of the movement of being similar to God in one aspect, the aspect of becoming one. In the next class, we will explain more how do we do it, how do we take this action which we also share with animals and uplift it to something which is really one. But for now, we'll conclude with something which we mentioned also last class, and according to the Pasuk, the first time a man and woman are together, it says, Ve'ha'adam yada et chava ishto. And we notice that the letter Vav, which it's like the word and in English, begins this verse. And we said that usually we don't find in Hebrew the word and starting a new topic. In the middle of a topic, you can have the word and, but not in the beginning of a topic. And here, in the beginning of the topic, we have, and Adam knew his wife Eve. And Rashi, one of the earlier commentaries on the Torah, explains that they knew each other already in Gan Eden, already in the Garden of Eden. In the Garden of Eden, we were one. Everything was united. And maybe we have here a hint. When is the best connection between husband and wife? When there's da'at, when there's this connection, when we have the letter Vav, the and, when you try to bring it to the Garden of Eden, when here in this world, with all the separation we have in this world, we try to think, how do we take this action as part of this energy, part of the movement of becoming one in all the aspects, in the holy aspect, in the emotional aspect, in the knowledge aspect, in the physical aspect. When we have this in mind, becoming one with all of our dimensions of life, this is da'at. And when we have da'at, when we have a special level of da'at, this is the closest we can reach to the Garden of Eden.